Welcome to the Inside the H podcast. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's your boy Kush, my guy Ike to the left of me. And Ike, how are you doing today, man? How's it going?
Doing good, man. Just really happy about the Rockets getting back-to-back wins. Feels good to win, man. So I don't ask for a lot, man, but when they win, I'm just, I'm happy.
Yeah, so let's start with that with the Rockets. Um, 2 game win streak. Friday, we who do we play Friday?
We played the Atlanta Hawks.
Atlanta
You
Hawks,
can't,
yeah.
yeah,
Can't forget that one because there was a lot of chippiness in that game. Uh,
yeah,
with DeJounte Murray and Trey Young talking all that shit. Um, Obviously, everybody who watched the game or watched the video, Jabari Smith is guarding. Um, was Jabari Smith shooting the three or was he guarding him? I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Jabari Smith Jr. on defense, and then
yeah,
DeJounte Murray hits a three over him, just taps him on the hand, and I'm just like, bro, like even if it's like a pickup game at the house or whatever, or at the YMCA, that's something you just don't do is give the guy a head tap, man. That's just disrespectful as fuck, man. Like
yeah,
when you
man.
saw
That's
that
that.
dude, what do you think about that? Because I thought that was disrespectful.
Yeah, man. That's totally disrespectful, man. Especially even in the pickup game, that's a guaranteed fight, bro. Like I'm not letting no man do that to me. I don't care if he makes the shot or not. That's a fight for sure. And that's just clown behavior, and karma worked out in our favor.
Yeah, man, and I just feel like after that moment, and especially after like the little scuffle they got into where Trey Young's hiding behind his teammates like a little bitch or whatever. Like I feel like after that moment, Jabari Smith Jr. kind of like got engaged in the game and locked in the game, and like ever since then on to the next game, he's been playing pretty well, man. What do you think about his performance? The past 2 games because I thought he was kind of till now he's kind of still getting the feel for the game, and just letting the games come to him, but against Atlanta and against OKC last night, we'll see him. I think they played him at the five, and he had a big offensive rebound, put back shot to extend the lead or get back into the game or something. And I think that's for me. Especially with his length and his strength. I that's kind of what I saw. That's kind of his role that I saw coming from Auburn, I thought because of his length, he can play the five in a small ball lineup, get offensive rebounds. He's another shooter on the floor, and we kind of saw all that coming together in the past 2 games.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think obviously the last two games he's played well. I think it's simple for him. Like whenever his shot is going down, it's just he's having a really good game. Um, when it's not, people will point out like all his struggles. It sounds simple, man, but when your shots are going down, everybody will be saying, "Hey, Jabari's playing really good right now," and it's amazing what a little disrespect will do to you and set a fire, inside of you in the Atlanta game when that happened. Because I felt like when that happened, that totally changed the game, and it changed Jabari Smith's aggressiveness. And I felt like he went straight to work, and he felt he had this mentality like we're not putting up with this stuff around here. I don't care who you are. And that's when we came back and we made our run. And thanks to the Atlanta Hawks, man, because we got back-to-back wins, and it was really that act of those acts of disrespect behavior that I felt that got us, that set that fire under us, and just got us to play well. And I also feel like when Jalen is out there as the primary ball handler and he's finding Jabari or Shingun, it just makes everything easier for everything else. And once they build the chemistry, I think the league's going to be in trouble. I feel like Jalen and Sengun already got a chemistry going together in the pick and roll. But even in last night's game against OKC, Jalen was hitting him in some pick and roll, and Jabari was able, to take advantage of that. And I just feel like overall lately, he's been playing really, really, really well, and just looking forward to more of this type of play.
Yeah, but one thing like I wanted to see more of was um Jalen as a ball handler, Jabari setting the pick and them doing the pick and pop action where he goes around, Jabari comes out to 3-point line, you know, pass them real quick and just he gets to catch and shoot opportunities. Because I feel like I feel like when they run that, he'll be open enough for him to shoot it and be confident in that shot. That he can make that shot, which I think in college he's proven he can do, and I feel like he's proving that now that he can make that shot. But like I said, as a rookie, it's very rare that a guy comes in right off the bat and starts making an impact. I mean, we've only seen that with a few guys. Um, it took him a little while to get into the swing of things, but I think the past 2 games he's starting to figure it out, and once he starts to really, really get going, I think it's gonna be a tough matchup for defenses to deal with, especially if they stick him at the 5, because I mean, how do you guard that? Like, and it's yeah, because I don't like him at the 5. He can because of his length, he can guard pretty much any position on the court. He can Obviously he can rebound because that rebound that he got earlier that I talked about, that was a huge point in the game. Second opportunity points that you got that helps you win the game. So, I mean, once he starts to figure it out 100%, I think he's gonna be really, really, really hard to stop.
Yeah, man, I agree. I mean, the guy can do it all, and there was, a couple of possessions where he switched onto guards and he was guarding them out there on the perimeter, and he held his own, and he was able to contest the shot, make him miss, and just play solid defense. Because overall, I think as a team, I think we're still struggling a little bit with our perimeter defense. But I think with time, that would get better. But as far as Jabari Smith, man, he can hold his own out there. You don't have to worry about that. He can guard every position. And that's just a huge advantage for us because when we switch everything, you can trust in his defense, his length, his size to be able to, hold his own on that play. And really, man, like I felt like the Golden State game really, even though we lost, it kind of let us know what type of effort we have to give on the defensive end every night to beat teams, not just the Warriors because they're the defending champions, but just any team in the NBA. You're going to have to defend at an elite level, for 48 minutes. So I really felt like that's where it started, and it got us in the right mentality defensively through these games here.
Yeah, and let's switch it over to Jalen Green. Um, he was on fire last night. Like he couldn't miss. He was hitting crazy out of the parking lot threes. One of my favorite plays he made last night was the one where he got the ball like on the corner. He did a little shake, you know, went he went right and then just pulled up for that difficult 2-point shot. Like if he's hitting those, like it's gonna be rough night for the defense, bro. And like I just love that um he's not just trying to dribble and shoot the three or just pass it off. He's he can be a really, really good mid-range shooter, which he has proven. And I'm just looking forward to like the growth of that part of his game. Because like he can he's shown that he like right now in his second season, he can score from anywhere on the court. And just the layups he was making, like over 3 guys, like he was shooting threes at an incredible rate and just scoring from all over the field. Like I think I wouldn't say it's his best game of his career because I think the last time he had a as great a game as he did last night was I think the last game of the season last year when he dropped like 41 on the Hawks. But ever since then, I think it's his best game since then, I think I would say.
Yeah, man. When he was on last night, there's not really too much defense can do. I mean, most Houston fans expected this. We knew that he could do this, that he can be a superstar, he can be a leader, especially, scoring the basketball. But when he's on like that, he has the defense at his mercy. And when he's on and becomes and transitions to the playmaker later on during the game, it's really scary, man, because now he's setting up guys. Like I said earlier, he becomes the primary ball handler and he's making everybody else comfortable. Like Sengun yesterday had an awesome game, and part of that was because of his chemistry with Jalen and how he was finding him on pick and rolls. And even when he was driving in, he was kicking it to KPJ. He was making threes off, Jalen's playmaking and just everybody on the court, man. Like he just makes the entire team, that much better when he's on like that because the defense doesn't know what to expect, who's gonna, who's to guard, and it was just a special night for Jalen. Like I said, most Houston fans, like we knew he was capable of this, and we're looking forward to more of this. But it's just beautiful to see when you see it when playing out. It's just some of the things he was doing was like Jordan-esque, man. Like he was pulling up on mid-range shots, driving in. He caught an alley with his left hand. That shit was nasty, bro. I couldn't believe he caught that with the left and then flushed it down. Never seen him do something like that because he's a right-handed guy. But it just shows you, how talented this guy is and the type of things he can do on a night-to-night basis.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like he has potential to be a scoring champion one day. Like just even just now, the second year, the beginning of the second year, he's showing glimpses of that, and we saw a lot of it last night. And I think I was on Twitter last night, and I was just like, bro, whenever we drafted Jalen Green a couple years ago, this is what we envisioned, right? Like we knew the stuff that he was capable of, and like if you're like a diehard Rockets fan and you know about Jalen Green and you know about Jabari Smith Jr., all these guys, like we saw this coming, and it's just even for just a game, it's good to see it, you know, come together on the court. And there's a lot. Like I tweeted the other night, this is only the tip of the iceberg for Jalen Green because it's scary that he's been able to do what he's been able to do so far, and he's gonna get bigger, he's gonna get stronger, and he's only gonna get better, as the season goes on, as his career goes on. So I think that for if you're a Rockets fan tuning in this year, I think that's a big reason to watch games this year, even though we're not gonna win that many games, because this guy's gonna be freaking special, man. And I think we've all talked about it, we all know it, and I just can't wait for him to start putting up numbers, start getting on these all-star teams, and just bringing the Rockets to like national recognition.
Yeah, and then don't forget about all the hate that he has been getting even before this season. A lot of media, was talking shit about him, and even like Bill Simmons was talking a lot of shit. And as far everything that we've seen so far, he has been the best player of last year's draft. You know, and the media just has to take an L on that. They got to eat that because so far he's just been balling, and I don't want to hear none of that hate no more, bro. Like it's just if you've seen the way this guy has been playing, like they could just keep crying, bro, because that shit don't mean nothing.
Yeah, man, and the like respect to Herb Jones, and we all know how we feel about Bill Simmons. Um, it's like we tried to tell him last year, man, like just wait on it, just wait on it. Like we see that potential in him. He's starting to show that, and like I didn't hear shit from any of the haters last night, man, because like he was on fire. Like when he's hitting shots like that, he's really, really hard to stop. And that's like, in my opinion, that's glimpses of top three to top five player in a few years, you know. I know that's some people might say that's a bit much on my part to say that, but I really believe that, and I really believe he's gonna get to that level because I mean they're gonna see like even just later on this year, once we get to the second half of the year and once the all our guys start building more chemistry together, I think we're gonna see that, and hopefully we'll see the haters shut their mouths too because it's coming, man.
Yeah, man. Let me say one more thing about Jalen, man, because he's been averaging more assists lately too. So he's not just a ball hog that's just, taking 25, 30 shots a game. Now the stats show that he's averaging more assists and he cares about that. He wants to improve on that. He wants to make his team better. I think that speaks volume about the guy. That speaks that he wants to be the leader of the team and he cares about winning. So I just wanted to say that because he's not a selfish guy or he's going out there every night trying to score, 30 or 40. He also cares about, getting others involved. And that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, the special thing about him is like he can score 30 or 49 if he wants to, but he's willing to be a better playmaker. He's willing to be a better defender, which I think those two things, that's what's really going to make him a really, really great player when everything is said and done. And like, I know we talk about a lot about like tanking and all that stuff. We should tank for Wemby or whatever. Man, those two wins as a fan felt so good last night, and just seeing those guys, you know, play hard and just taking in the win. I love the clip of Jalen Green waving goodbye to Trey Young, man. Like I just love seeing that shit, especially when you're like a struggling bottom team. Like those are the moments that make the season, fun to watch for us fans.
Yeah, man, I agree. I mean, and then yet the game versus the Hawks was Bruno's first game back. And I know a lot of people probably don't, want to give him credit or, something like that or hate on him or something, but he deserves little credit because, man, he came back first night and we got a dub. So I'm not saying it was all because of him, but he was a part of that and he actually looked good out there in the first minutes when the game started versus the Hawks, man. So I just want to say that about Bruno. But we saw Sengun yesterday, and he had a hell of a game. So I still think he should be the starting center because he was just playing lights out yesterday, man. He was balling, he was everywhere. Hustling, getting rebounds, scoring. He had a play where he dribbled the ball almost 94 feet down the court and then did a a mini dream shake at the end and got the guy and scored. But yeah, man, I agree. Like these games, when you get these dubs like this, they're so exciting to watch and to be a part of because they're a glimpse of what the future holds for us and how this team is going to look in the future when we're hitting all cylinders, man. So yeah, I agree. Like even myself, I can't wait to go to another game to be out there, with all the family out there, Rockets Twitter, and just enjoying the game.
Yeah, and like I feel like we're talking about like tanking and taking losses and all that stuff, and I feel like just winning a few games can really help their confidence because as a even as an athlete and at any level, you never want to lose, right? Like you don't as a player, you're not looking to the future like next year or the year after. You want to win the next game. So, and I feel like that's really important to see because obviously you could see they wanted to win the game. and they don't give a fuck about tanking for Wemby and all that other shit like us fans care about. So it's like I saw at the beginning of the season when we talked about like the debate between should we tank for Wemby or should we just try to win. I feel like just try to win because at the end of the day, like if you try to win every game, that's only going to help your players' development, right? Because we have to remember these guys are human, and like when the losses start piling up, it starts getting in your head and all this other shit. So I feel like they should keep trying to win, keep trying to develop their guys, and just go out on the court and keep trying to win, man. Because like they say, winning cures everything, right? So
Yes, sir.
I feel like they should just keep keep trying to get better, which I think they will, which I think they will do, and hopefully we'll lose enough games, I guess, to have a chance in the lottery to get that number one pick. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, man, because I feel like we're already in a tough division in the NBA. So all of the teams that are in our division, they're real tough. Most of them are playoff teams. And, we're a young team. We're going to struggle on defense. We're going to have a lot of turnovers because we have young players. It's all about going out there and just playing hard, giving it your all. And you see what you get at the end of the game. You see, how you develop, how you learn from the past mistakes. And if you end up losing, then so be it. But you go out there, to play to win the game, obviously. But we're in the West, and everybody in the West is tough for the most part this year. So it is what it is, man. Like we're just gonna go out there and try to develop these guys and just try to play as hard as we can and learn from our mistakes because eventually these are the guys that are our core, and that's what we're going to depend on. We have our guys already, but I'm not going to lie, it wouldn't hurt to add Wemby or Scoot, man. So, we got to stay locked in. We got to have that goal at the end and trying to get one of those two guys at any cost because that talent is just you don't find that all the time in drafts. So you got to do whatever you can. You got to position yourself as best as you can to try to get one of those guys regardless of your record. Obviously, you want to be on the losing end as far as the games, but yeah, man, to add one of those guys would be awesome.
Yeah, and I want to go back to your point of just they've learned from their past mistakes. I think the past two games, you can kind of see they've learned how to win, or they learned in the past two games, they kind of learned what not to do or what to do in these close games for them to win the game, which I think that's in a season like this, that's progress, right? Like that's what you want to see at the end of the day. And um, as far as like the draft next year, my my opinion has always been like just control what you can control. Don't worry about, you know, oh, I gotta lose this game or I gotta lose that game in order for me to have a chance. Like just go out there, put your team out there, see what happens, and then wherever you end up is where you end up. And I know a lot of
Uh,
Rockets Twitter is like, no, we gotta lose, we gotta position ourselves, which I see, but I mean, there's also the possibility that you tank and then you get to the lottery and then you get fucked out of the number one pick, right? So it's like, what was all that losing for, right? Like it
yeah.
just doesn't matter. And so
Well,
that's yeah,
you
go ahead.
know, Rockets Twitter. We're always gonna complain about something, man. It don't matter what it is. We're always gonna complain about something. Whether it's rotations, minutes, why is this guy in the game, this and that. So it's always going to be something. So we just try to ride with it, and that's just something that we do, and we just like to keep it spicy, man. Like to keep it interesting and talk about different shit. So it helps everybody.
It's good for the entertainment, I'll say that. I will
Yes,
say that.
sir.
Yeah, and yeah, but like hopefully we'll see more improvement, in the coming weeks and coming months for the Rockets. And so now let's talk about the Texans. So the Texans Wednesday was a really, really weird day if you're a Texans fan because Davis Mills got benched, but it was kind of like a weird situation because Lovie Smith wouldn't say that, okay, we're benching Davis Mills for Kyle Allen. And I feel like the only reason, I mean, call me crazy, but I feel like the only reason we even made the move is because earlier that morning, Robert Saleh, the coach of the New York Jets, benched their number two pick, right? Zach Wilson got benched for Mike White. And I think the Texans saw that and they're like, okay, now would be the perfect opportunity to also bench our quarterback because the eyes aren't on us. The eyes are on the number two pick that got benched, right? And I feel like that's like a big, big problem with the Texans is because Davis Mills has not played well, but making that move, what does it really even do for you? You know? Because like it's a lost season anyway. Um, but then again, like we saw the game today against the Dolphins. They struggled early, obviously going down like 30 to nothing at the halftime. But in the second half, Kyle Allen looked a little bit better than Davis Mills has looked for the past few games, in my opinion. And so, like, it was just a weird situation because on Wednesday they wouldn't commit to who was going to start and uh who was going to be the backup and who's getting the reps in practice. They said they'll split reps in practice, which is so freaking weird to me. And like, I f- I feel like I've been beating this dead horse for like 3 years now. Um, I feel like the Texans are still trying to be the Patriots because they're doing all this weird shit that the Patriots used to do, like keep it all secretive and shit. But like my whole thing is, you're the worst team in the freaking NFL. Who cares? Just say who your quarterback is. It's like the fact, like if you really think that you're going to try to hide who your starter is to not let the other team know your game plan or whatever. It's like, bro, you have one win on the season. That's against the Jaguars. It doesn't freaking matter it
Yeah,
doesn't matter who you start. You're still gonna lose the game anyway, you know?
yeah.
So like, I mean, that's my rant for the Texans. I want to know your thoughts on that whole quarterback switcheroo, quarterback benching situation.
Well, I think two things, man. Like, I think that was a move of just being desperate because, in my eyes, in my opinion, I felt like they wanted to show the fans in the city, like, hey, we're making moves to try to win ball games. We're trying, but for it to happen the way it did, it was weird because if you're not gonna say it, then don't say it. Don't say it until Saturday or Sunday, when everything comes out like the Patriots used to. They always kept shit in house about, you know, what they were gonna do, the scheme, or like who they were gonna play. But it's just a move of like, because we're desperate right now just to try to keep our fan base intact, bro, or like the city connection intact because I just feel like if you would have just made that move and come out and said it, then nobody cares about it. Okay, this guy's gonna get benched and whatever, so we're gonna roll with Kyle Allen, and that's how we're gonna do it. But it's just to me, they were worried about how it was gonna be looked because they were benching their guy that they said that was their guy, their quarterback. And we know teams make changes all the time, but I think once they saw the Jets making that move, they're like, okay, this is a perfect chance to make a change right now. They benched their guy, their second year guy. So let's go ahead and do it. But it was just a desperate move because we're just looking for anything right now, anything positive, whether it's benching this guy or that guy to show that, hey, we're trying out here when we really know that we're just tanking because we want that number one pick. We're already the worst team in the NFL. So I just think that right now, man, we're in shambles, man. Like as an organization, it's like one of those dark times. Just try to get through the season, bro. Like I can't wait for the season to be over. Like for real, I just looking forward to that because um, I hate to keep wasting my Sundays on watching this team this year going through that. I mean, at halftime, you said it was 30-0 at halftime today. So, I mean, that's just ugly performance. And hopefully, Bryce Young can save us from all this. So, I can't wait to the draft already. It's not even January. It's not even December, bro. And I'm saying that. I can't wait for the draft already. It just tells you what kind of year the Texans are having. But, you know, this is what it looks like, man, when you don't have a quarterback. This is
Yeah,
exactly what it looks like.
yeah, and like you brought up Bryce Young, and here's the thing about Nick Casario, like you know, he had a decent draft last year, and if we get to that draft and we have the number one pick and they don't take a quarterback, like even before that, you kind of after the season's over, you kind of have to evaluate um not only Lovie Smith, not only Pep Hamilton, not only the staff, you even have to evaluate Nick Casario. Like if they sit down with them in a room and they're like, okay, we are the first pick in the draft. Um, right now, who do you want to take? And if he says he doesn't want, like if he says we're not taking quarterback, I'm not saying you have to fire him, but you have to get a quarterback next year. Like in my opinion, Bryce Young is one of those guys. He's like he's a I think he can be the next star quarterback in the league in a few years. I think he has that type of potential. And if you have the number one pick, you have to take him. And the crazy thing about it is, even if they don't take a quarterback, this team is so freaking bad that whatever, like even if they take Will Anderson from Alabama or Jalen Carter from Georgia, it will still be a good pick because you have freaking holes everywhere on this team, you know. But
Yes.
like we all know the game of the National Football League, it's a quarterback league. So like if you um if you're of the opinion that okay, I don't like Bryce Young, I like CJ Stroud over him, then pick CJ Stroud. But you have to get a quarterback. And I feel like that guy's gonna be Bryce Young. But even if you look at the way the Texans have ran things in the past 3 years, I can't even say that I have confidence in them to take the quarterback and with the number one pick in the draft, you know? So, and the way that they've done this rebuild is it's like Nick Casario is a Patriots guy, obviously, right? So we brought him in to be the GM, and who's to say he doesn't run at the Patriots when he runs his team into the ground like Jack Easterby did? But we'll kind of have to wait and see what happens with him. I hope that he does not do that, but we'll see. And the thing I want to end with is I think this year this has to be the last year for Lovie Smith. I love Lovie Smith as a coach, in the past with the Bears and all that stuff, but I feel like they just need like a completely new, younger coach in this franchise. I'm tired of promoting these in-house guys and just, it's the same fucking shit every single year. I feel like we need a new guy, but then it's crazy because at the same time, last year, like they were considering hiring Josh McCown, who has no coaching experience ever at all at any level. And so that kind of shows you like if I'm an aspiring head coach, I do not want to go to the Texans. However, this upcoming year, you have a lot of cap space. You have so much draft capital. So if I am a guy that's looking for a head coaching job, the Texans are kind of attractive to me because you can pretty much pick your team. Like you're probably gonna have the number one pick, so you have the pick of your quarterback, whoever you want.
Facts.
You can pick your rookies for the next 2, 3 years with all the draft
Facts.
picks that we have. So I mean, we'll see. Like the craziest part is we don't know what the fuck is gonna happen because it's the Houston Texans, right?
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. But I don't think Lovie Smith should be back next year. I think they should press the reset button again as far as the head coach goes, because I mean, this guy is what is he like 73 years old? He's not going to be here when we get all our rookies and when we start to get good again in like 3 or 4 years. So I say bring a younger coach in, and then just, you know, draft guys and go from there.
Yeah, man. I don't care what we do, but don't hire Josh McCown. Like for
Yeah.
whatever reason, don't hire him. No head coach experience before. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be good. I don't know if he would turn out to be a good coach or not, but I think that's the only reason why Lovey was hired was because that move was going to look so bad that they're like, no, we can't do that. Let's just hire somebody in house who's actually had good experience before in the NFL, and they made that move like that. But I agree. I don't think Lovey will be here next year. I feel like this has been such a atrocious season overall, and whichever way you look at it, and the defense that has looked terrible. The front seven is garbage, hot trash, bro. Whatever you want to call them, we can't stop the run to save our lives. Stingley's been hurt too, so our secondary hasn't been playing well, either. But I'm looking forward to the future, man. Like let's just start over, clean house as far as the coaching staff, and let's get somebody in here that wants to win. I'm not saying Lovey doesn't want to win, but he was put in a tough spot to begin with, man. Whenever I get the press like that, I just think about the Houston Texans can't hurt me no more, bro, because we have the Houston Astros who are World Series champions, and can't nobody take that away from us, baby. We're champions. So the Texans can't hurt me, at least this year, bro. So I'm still riding high about my Astros.
Hey, there you go, man. And with that, let's end this episode of Inside the H. Um, I don't know if you guys heard, but we have a YouTube channel now. It's at Inside the H Pod on YouTube. Go ahead, give us a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can
Thanks.
also find us on Twitter. Our official podcast page is at Inside the H Pod. Ike, where can they find you on Twitter?
On Twitter at Ike Cuellar. That's IKECUELLAR.
You guys can find me at Christopher Paul, KUSHTOPHERPAUL. And with that, let's end it, guys. Inside the H Pod. We'll see you guys next week, man.
Yes, sir. Already.